Hello, today we're gonna be making a Charizard VStar deck. Charizard VStar is mainly known to be a bulky Pokemon V because it has 280 hit points. Most V-Stars like Dialga, Palkia, and Dragonite have also 280 hit points. But today we're gonna be focusing on a Charizard VStar deck. Charizard VStar also has 280 hit points. But that's not all Charizard has because most Pokemon can't really knock out 280 hit point V-Stars or Pokemon. So they need quite a lot of like choice belt and more. So then after we have the Charizard V-Star hit points done, then we have the attack, its first attack out of 2. So its first attack has explosive fire. So for 3 energy, it does 130 damage. And if there's any energy attached to this Pokemon, it does 100 more damage. So it in total does 130 damage. 230 damage. 230 is enough to knock out any kind of V, like Slacking, Dragonite, Tyranitar, but not really any other Pokemon, like Blissey. Though still it does quite a lot of damage for 3 energy. It doesn't require you to discard any energy. Then the Starblaze attack for 4 energy. You can only use one V-Star attack in the entire game, just like a GX attack. So it does 320 damage for 4 energy, and its attack is called Starblaze. So then it also requires you to discard 2 fire energy. You can't use more than one of those Starblaze attacks in a turn. And then we have a shiny Charizard. I chose this because I like the design the most. Full art is also pretty good. So Charizard V has 220 hit points. It does 220 damage for 4 energy. That's the fire spin attack, so you have to discard 2 energy. You can use as many attacks of those as you want. But yeah, it's fire spin. But yeah. Then we also have Claw Slash, only 80 damage for 3 energy. And then Charizard VMAX does 300 damage for 5 energy. Discards 2 energy from that Pokemon too, not really good. Then to increase the energy in 2 turns, we have a Charizard. This one has this ability, Burn Brightly. For each fire energy attached to this Pokemon, well, not this Pokemon, but to your Pokemon, are equal to 2 fire energy. So you can use as many of these as you want. You don't need more than 2 Charizards. So then I was gonna add Jungle Totem. That's the Venusaur ability. So, well, just like the Blissey V deck, but I didn't want to add this. This is basically a fire deck, and a colorless Pokemon deck too. So we'll be also adding other Pokemon. So the Charizard attack, I'm not sure what it is, but it does 170 damage for 4 energy. Discard all fire energy from this Pokemon, so you only need 2 fire energy attached to a Charizard to do 170 damage. Others, like the one with the Leon, attacker. Not sure what it is, though. It does much more damage. This Charizard is pretty good. 2 energy for 170 damage. 170 damage can knock out almost any type of Charizard. Stage 2, not the VMAX, or anything else like that. Its design is also pretty good too. It's flying in, I'm not sure, but a city. Lots of buildings. It's flying up pretty high. I'm not sure what it's doing. It's just flying. Maybe it's battling with another Pokemon. Then we have Magma Basin. Once during your turn, each player's turn, they may attach fire energy from their discard pile to their Pokemon, benched Pokemon. So that also does 20 damage to that Pokemon. We would actually be wanting to attach the Fire Basin to a Charizard VStar or a Charizard V, because the explosive fire needs you to get some damage on that Pokemon. So this actually helps you get that damage, and it also allows you to power it up much quicker. You wouldn't want to do like 2 magma basins. You would just want to do about 1 magma basin to 1 Charizard, because if you do 2, it will be at 240 hit points, and 240 hit points is easy for most V-Stars to knock it out. So we would want it at 260, so then most V-Star attacks won't really knock it out. Maybe Dialga will be able to knock it out, though. That's the problem. So we would want to just have 10 damage on that Pokemon, but we wouldn't know how to do that. So that would be a problem, actually, but still 280 from a Dialga or Palkia. Well, Charizard can easily knock them out before they knock it out. Then we have Radiant Heatran. So you can only have 1 Radiant copy of each Radiant Pokemon. So you could have a Radiant Charizard, Radiant Blastoise in one deck, but you can only have 1 of those. So this, I'm not sure, but for 3 energy, it does 70 damage, and it has 160 hit points, just like a normal Charizard Radiant and normal Charizard Pokemon, but it does 70 damage for 3 energy. Then, for each damage counter on this Pokemon, it does 70 more damage. So if you have a muscle band or something like that, then Radiant Heatran will have 210 hit points, and about 50 times 70, 350, plus 70 is 420 damage for. So if your opponent just puts 50 damage on your Pokemon Radiant Heatran, it would be doing 420 damage to your opponent. So you would want to save that for a VMAX deck, because sometimes Radiant Heatran can knock out those. Charizard VStar does 320 damage for 4 energy, so that means that it will be able to knock out something like Shadow Rider Calyrex, Ice Rider Calyrex, VMAXs, and Teleon VMAXs, and they don't even need a weakness to Charizard, but you can only use 1. Then we have Togekiss. So we need the entire evolution. This type of Togekiss Voice of Happiness. So I said that we'll only be having colorless, but this psychic Pokemon has the ability, Voice of Happiness. When you evolve this Pokemon from your hand to Togetic, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correct, then heal 90 damage from your active Pokemon. So you can actually heal your Charizard. So I would also say 5 or more scoop up nets for a Togekiss. So then it would just be able to heal your Charizard quite a lot. And since your Charizard can do a lot of damage in your Heatran, then you would be easily able to knock out your opponent without even having your Charizard or Heatran knocked out. So, what you would need to do sometimes is that you put Togekiss into play, and then after you put Togekiss into play, you heal 90 damage from your rated Heatran. I don't think you would need to do that until they do 200 damage, and then you heal quite a lot of damage from it. After you put Togekiss into play, you use Scoop Up Net so it doesn't get knocked out. Then we have another Togekiss. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may look at the top 8 cards of your deck and choose any energy card you find there and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. So that means if you exactly find 8 energy, then you'll be able to easily power up 2 Charizard VStars, or you could also power up one of your, you wouldn't really need 8 energy because the Charizard burned brightly, so you would need a 2 energy on Charizard VStar, so you can easily power up 2 of your Charizard VStars, and then you can also power up 1 Raiden Heatran. So you can have any amount of these Pokemon I said so far because, so I wouldn't say you put too many Togekiss and that evolution, but maybe more of the evolution than Togekiss because you'll have 2 types of Togekiss, maybe maximum of 4 of each type of Togekiss. So then about 5 Charizards of both types. So then that would be enough to just power up all your Pokemon easily, heal them easily. But you also need a big bench. So I wouldn't say having a big bench, but what I would say to have is to have a sky field. I wouldn't want a sky field at the most, but just in case we have that, we would also have quite a lot of scoop up nets for the Togekiss and Togetic and that evolution. So then what we have is that we also need quite a lot of scoop up nets. So I would say that about 10 scoop up nets, maybe about 10 or less, because not many Pokemon can get Pokemon like cards or something like Evolution Incense or Scoop Up Net from the discard pile. Floatzel's attack can though. So Then we have a special fire energy, which is burning fire energy, which means that so you want an endless supply of fire energy. So we also want about 10 fire energy because of Togekiss's ability. But if this energy is taken out and put into the discard pile by an attack, after you attack, I think you put it into your hand, or you put it onto that Pokemon afterwards. So that means that you'll have an endless supply of energy unless one of your Pokemon are knocked out. We'll be also having a way to, get them back from the discard pile. But this can only be attached to a fire Pokemon. That's why our main attackers are Charizards. Mainly Charizard VStar, maybe a bit of Charizard V. We wouldn't really want to discard any fire energy, but if we use Togekiss's ability, look at the 8 cards of your deck when you evolve this Pokemon from your hand to benched Pokemon, then that means that you can easily get one of these 10 fire energy, and you only need 2 fire energy attached to all your Pokemon because of Charizard's Burn Brightly ability. So even with that, even if you use an attack, you'll never lose those energy. So that's actually pretty good. Since why I want 10 in the deck is because if you don't find 8, then if you have like 2 extra, you might have a chance of finding 9 or 10 instead of just 8 or 7. We wouldn't really want to get 7 because we didn't need them. We also need some way to get energy back from the discard pile. So this design is actually pretty good. Flames in the background, then a black ball. So you see a whitish yellow line which goes from the left corner to the middle of it, then from the right corner to that part, and then if you have the upper part, you see one whitish yellow part going straight up. So that design is pretty good. Then the flames, and then the black ball. Inside of it, you see something like a pine tree-ish design, and then inside of that is another black part, but then that red part is actually pretty cool. Most of it is black, then red or yellow and white. Some of it is gray, then the outline is probably yellow. So this fire energy is a good card because it allows you to have energy forever unless it's knocked out by your opponent's attacks. I'm not sure if that actually is true, but since you can get anything back from the discard pile, that's good. I wouldn't want you to put the rest of the 2 from the 10 and 8 as normal fire energy, but maybe all of them should be a special fire energy, because then it will be easier for you to do stuff. Then we have rare candy. Rare candy allows you to choose one of your benched Pokemon, we don't have any stage 2 except Charmander and Charizard. So what we would want to do is that we would want to put a Charmander on our bench, and then we use rare candy. Choose one of your bench Pokemon, and then evolve it from one of the stage 2 that you have in your hand onto that Pokemon. So you don't need a Charmander to evolve into a Charmeleon and into a Charizard. You just need a rare candy and a Charizard. You can use as many items as you want, but we only want one Charizard with the Burn Brightly. But in the deck, we would want more in case it gets knocked out, which means that since people don't really like Charizard because it does a lot of damage, they would want to knock it out when it's a Charmander because Charmander has a low amount of hit points. Charizard has a high amount of hit points, so it would be hard for you. But then, if you have something like Muscle Band, this Charizard has 170 hit points, so if you have a Muscle Band on your Charmander, it has 120 hit points because it allows you to have 50 more hit points. Then we have Dunsparce with the Mysterious Nest. Any type of Pokemon in play, both yours and your opponent's, have no weakness. And Blastoise is pretty powerful and it's pretty famous. Most people play it in standard decks now. Sometimes Mew, but mainly Blastoise because it has powerful abilities like Vitality Springs. We won't be having that in here today. So then that means that so Charizard has a weakness to water because it's a fire type. So now Dunsparce, if we put into play, will be again having no weakness, but also your opponent will be having no weakness. Since this bench is pretty full, we would want a Skyfield. Allows you to have up to 8 benched Pokemon, yours and your opponent's. If it's knocked out, you discard it till you have 5 on your bench, and then your opponent discards till they have 5 on their bench. So first we would want to put Skyfield on your first turn. Then if they don't knock that stadium out for like 3 turns, you would want to put 8 Pokemon on your bench. So then, like I was saying, we wouldn't really want a Blastoise, but Vitality Springs allows you to search your deck up to 6 of any type of energy and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. So you could, and you also need a rare candy for Togekiss and Blastoise because they're also a stage 2 too. So then that means that it's easier for but Vitality Springs, if you use that, your turn ends. It's not really that good, but if it's the beginning of the game and your opponent doesn't really have anything powerful, like an Orbeetle, you would want to use Vitality Springs. Then we have Glimwood Tangle. Once during each player's turn, if after that player flips any coin for attack, they may ignore all results of those coin flips and begin flipping those coins again. But you can only flip the coin twice. So that means that, well, you wouldn't really know why we would want to have a Glimwood Tangle in a deck, which we don't even need to flip a coin in. We'll be having Cramomatic in here. Cramomatic allows you to discard 1 card from your hand and then search your deck for any type of card, but you need to flip a coin for that. So since if you get tails, you can flip again. Skyfield Stadium is in play too, but if you don't have many Pokemon on your bench and you don't really need to have any, then you could play Glimwood Tangle instead of Skyfield Stadium. But I would say that you might want to keep it in this deck still, just in case some emergency. So then, well, your opponent will also have an advantage of those stuff too. It's not really the best, but it also allows you to search for more cards in your deck. So I would say you would want to discard an energy. So I'm gonna be telling you why you would want to discard energy, just like last Blissey video. Why would you would want to do that? Because then we'll also have an Ordinary Rod. Ordinary Rod, I chose this golden one because I kind of like golden cards. I don't think they have a rainbow rare version of these. They're even rare. So, if you discard an energy, you use Ordinary Rod. It allows you to get, you can choose one or both. So you could get one or two Pokemon back from your discard pile, like a Charizard back from your discard pile, or a Togekiss, or a Blastoise. Or you could use this. Search your discard pile up to one or two energy and shuffle them back into your deck, which means that if you have about 4 Pokemon, like 2 Togekiss and 2 Charizards, you would want to get the Charizard. You could choose both too. Then we have Boss's Order. It's pretty annoying for your opponent, so you would want to Marnie. Well, your opponent would want to Marnie you because you have a boss. Boss's Order allows you to switch one of your opponent's Pokemon with their bench. They don't pick what they switch, but you can pick what they switch, which is even better because most people don't like Boss's Order, and they never will unless they're playing Boss's Orders too. Boss's Order is pretty annoying for both players because it makes them switch. It lets their opponent let them switch one of their Pokemon. Then we have Evolution Incense. So if we have a Charmander and a Squirtle on your bench, and you don't have a Blastoise and a Charizard, but you only have 2 Evolution Incense and 2 rare candies, you can use Evolution Incense to search your deck for Evolution Pokemon like Charizard or Blastoise. It could be Squirtle, Wurtle, or Charmeleon, but we won't be adding those Wurtle and Charmeleon into this deck. So why I was saying that we should discard energy from in our deck is because shuffle up to 5 energy from your discard pile into your deck. So I would say about 4 of these energy recycler, because we wouldn't really be needing that many energy and energy recycler. We also have Ordinary Rod, which helps us with that, so we wouldn't really want much of the energy recycler. This is for today. Bye.